It doesn't say.
Noonan.
Rod, put your brief location in.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Yeah, that's going to be Rod from Noonan 57. Yeah, that's who that is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
He's already in our log.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good.
All right. Well, did you say Rogers? Did you say go?
Ro-
Where'd it go?
Oh.
Roger said go. We
Oh.
weren't listening.
No, we were listening.
Were we?
Listening, but not paying attention.
Well, there's
Yeah.
yeah, that's two different things.
That's how that rolls. Good evening, and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net, the most interesting net in two-way radio. I think it's the most interesting.
It's gotta
Tony,
be.
have you heard a more interesting net this week?
Never. No, not at all.
Last week?
I've not been involved with one for sure.
Yeah. Rogers, how about?
It's really interesting between 7 and 7:30.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is potentially the most interesting part. It's too bad we can't air that
YouTube.
portion.
Yeah, can't air that.
If you're in RF range,
Yeah.
Yeah. We got somebody else in a room here with us. Who is that?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, where's he at? There
It's
he is.
Mr. Newface.
Let me
That is me.
look
All
at that.
Am I supposed to sign here or no?
Well,
We
let
don't
me-
know.
let me-
We wait till we get a text from somebody to tell us we need to sign.
Yeah, I
put a
got-
call sign out.
I got distracted in the script. Let me get to the part where we're supposed to identify.
Uh-oh.
Tonight we're live from Studio Vanguard. We're linked in with the following repeaters.
and tonight we are linked in with Watkinsville, Flagship, Columbus, Peachtree, Noonan, Fort Mountain, Rome, Zebulon, Toccoa, Cades Cove, Madonna, Jersey, and Buckhead. Also, White Oak Mountain, Lookout Mountain, Chattanooga, Mount Roosevelt, Georgetown, and Ottawa. Ottawa.
Yeah, Ottawa.
Ottawa.
This net takes place every other Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I'd like to thank all of you who've made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 946, WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is Atlanta 1150 WRZV 748. Tony.
This is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263. My name is Rogers.
And WRWK 895. My name is Dana.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we'd like to hear about. This is a family-based network, so we encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. If you're checking in on YouTube, please include your FCC call sign if you have one, your first name, and your location. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by their name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in or sign out of the net. Also, you can tune in on our YouTube channel and follow along. Even better, tune in after and watch your appearance on the network. You can hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Let me break. Be sure to like and subscribe and comment so we know you're watching. These interactions mean the most to help our new channel grow. So, Julie's tips. Julie's not here tonight.
We need more emails, people.
It appears that so last time she came back with tips, she got a very small number of emails. Dana, how many was that? How many emails did you send?
One email.
I think Dana sent one email. So let's flood Julie's inbox with a bunch of emails requesting Julie's tips for next week and the weeks following, and see if we can get her back in the chair. I think we can make it happen, yeah, I think that'll be fun. So next we have announcements. Let me break. All right, for this week's announcements, live from Studio Vanguard, tune in tomorrow night for the North Georgia GMRS Network's Friday night at 9 Simplex Challenge on the Monument Repeater. Tune in to learn about emergency comms and the use of Simplex frequencies. And don't miss Saturday Night Sessions, a ham radio talk group, with your host Dana as he talks about commonly used Q-tips Q codes.
Q-tips.
Q
What?
codes.
Q?
What's
Oh.
a Q code, Dana?
Q Q codes are generally 3-letter codes starting with Q, believe it or not, and commonly used in amateur or ham radio. So it's they're meant to expedite conversation and keep things concise.
So very different from GMRS radio, where we very specifically prohibit coded messaging. Coded messages are not allowed in GMRS radio. Now, we do allow, the FCC does allow 10 codes on GMRS. However, we specifically prohibit 10 codes as a part of our MOU, which is the agreement that you made when you became a member with North Georgia GMRS. So coded messages are not allowed in GMRS radio for a couple of reasons. One, this is meant to be a family-friendly environment, and we don't expect users to have a lot of detailed technical knowledge in terms of how to operate and how to communicate on the radio. The other is that this is FM radio, and so in FM radio, generally either you can copy someone or you can't. Marginal signals usually are so marginal that they're just not there, and it's not like AM where you're trying to pick somebody up out of a field of static. You generally have a pretty good copy on somebody if you have a copy at all. So the use of Q codes isn't really necessary in FM 2A radio, whereas in amateur radio it's kind of a big deal. And so Q codes do a couple of things. They consolidate the messaging. So if you're sending CW, instead of sending best wishes and hope you are well, you can just send 7-3. Right?
Right.
Much simpler, much more concise. And Q codes are another version of that, where you can send previously discussed and understood messaging as a 3-letter code, which can make a conversation much faster. So you can QSO more rapidly by using coded messages.
QSO.
Or you can get through maybe noisy environments by using Q codes to convey pre-understood messaging. So that's Q codes in a nutshell, right, Dana? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I was going to say heavily used, especially in emergency situations as well. So when it hits the fan. You'll probably hear a lot of folks using Q codes to keep things, like you said, short, direct, and keep conversation airwaves open.
And when you have an emergency situation going on, oh yeah, we do need a break. We'll be right back. Yeah, as I was saying, when you have an emergency situation, it's important to convey your message rapidly, because you want to minimize your on-air time so that if somebody does have new information to convey, they're not waiting for you to finish yapping before they can get their important piece of information out. So if you had an emergency during a Thursday night net, that's the worst time to have an emergency, because the guy at net control just yammers all night long pointlessly. So and he often gets sidetracked during announcements.
I think you're on the wrong net too, aren't you? No, just kidding.
Yeah, usually I am. In fact, there were comments about the amateur radio net that we hold. All we talk about is GMRS.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And that's not wrong.
No.
One thing leads to another.
There's some crossover.
There is. So don't miss Saturday night sessions. Hey, coming up on the 4th of July, early in the day, there is going to be the largest 10K road race in the country. So the Peachtree Road Race does rely on a huge number of volunteers, dozens of ham radio operators, to keep the event running smoothly and safely. We're in early stages of sign-up and planning for the 2026 Northside Hospital Peachtree Road Race. It's the world's largest 10K. And yes, there is a new title sponsor. Shifts range from between 0400 and 1100. That would be 4 in the freaking morning, 4 o'clock a.m. So think about it. All right. What time does the race
I don't
start?
think about anything at 4 o'clock in the morning.
The race starts, I think, at 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But before the race starts, we got to have tables set up. The water stations have to be fully stocked and ready. We have to have people in position with their golf carts and their medical emergency materials, and all of that stuff has to start being staged and ready to go prior to the race.
It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work to be done before the race even starts. So if you can get out there and help lug cases of water and set up tables and set up banners and set up signs, all of that kind of stuff needs to happen early. And if you can get out there and help do some of that stuff, it won't be hot yet because it'll still be basically nighttime. So It's a great time to get out there. It's a great time to serve the community, and it's a great time to represent North Georgia GMRS. Julie and I are strongly thinking about volunteering for it this year. We've talked about it every year, but we haven't actually gone through with the volunteer. But I hope that we'll see a lot of North Georgia GMRS volunteers out there with us as well. I don't think you have to start at 4 a.m. There's lots of different jobs. For instance, in my notes here, it talks about, let's break. It doesn't talk about Let's Break, but it does talk about the Multi-Agency Coordinated Center. They're looking for call takers. So basically what that is you'll be in the MAC and you'll be monitoring maybe a radio, GMRS perhaps, amateur maybe, and you'll be translating messaging from one format to another. So you may be taking phone calls, you may be taking radio calls, and then passing that information on to whatever entity needs it. So it might be emergency services, it might be medical services, it could be any of a number of things. But that's basically like a miniature local, almost a 911 center. They need people to staff and operate that. They're going to be needing people to provide service at some of the water stations, and lots of other assistant roles. So if you can contribute in any way, we'd sure appreciate that and help to represent North Georgia GMRS at the event. If you want to sign up, go to the AtlantaTrackClub.com. Go to their webpage and look for the volunteers tab. There's a couple places you can get to it at. Once you're at the volunteers tab, there's a place where you can enter a call sign. I think in order to get to that, to be a radio operator, you're going to have to enter a password in that page. That password is going to be PRR26 ham. Peachtree Road Race 26 ham. That's going to be the password that lets you get into the radio operators volunteer section. You can enter either your GMRS call sign or your amateur call sign, or both. And if you're interested in taking the call taker position, instead of a call sign, just enter call taker. If you don't have a call sign but you want to contribute, that's a good way to do that too. There are many other roles that you can contribute, so don't feel like you have to limit yourself to being some sort of a radio or a call center operator.
Right.
You can,
or if one of you is a radio operator and your wife wants to help too.
Right. Or if one of you is a radio operator and the other wants to participate.
Yes, there you go.
That's a great way to do it as well. So you can both be at the event. One of you can serve the event. The other can participate. That's another great way to do that. So if you'd like a little bit more information about what's involved in volunteering for the Peachtree Road Race, there is a YouTube video that was produced by Ham Radio Prep. So go to Ham Radio Prep's YouTube page and search for the 2024 PRR. And I think that video should come up, and that's worth watching. Check that out. And probably because we've timed it out. So let me reset and see
I
if...
think Buckhead's having an issue.
Yeah, so let's give it a big, long time out here and see if we can get it to recover.
It said established. And come back.
It's going in and out, though.
All right, here's the best part of the announcements. We're going to talk about food. So we've got some gatherings coming up. Get your pencil out. make some notes on your calendar, and be ready to attend. These gatherings are a great way, one, to meet people within North Georgia GMRS. Two, to get questions answered. So if you're brand new to this, and you've never really, maybe you're still trying to figure out how to get your radio working, if you can show up at one of these gatherings, there's going to be a number of people there that can help you figure out how to program your radio and get you on the air and get you set up. So the coolest one is going to be the Meet and Geek. So the Meet and Geek happens on May 12th at noon at the Old Town Grill on Cobb Parkway. It's right around the corner from the McCollum Airport, if you know where that's at. The Old Town Grill is very close to that. Bring your radio, or if you have Meshtastic, or is it Meshcore?
I don't know. I got to talk to Ed. I'm on Meshtastic, so I guess were we supposed to switch to Meshcore?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that switch happened a while back.
Did it?
Yeah. I never got in with any of it just yet. But
okay. All right.
I am a little slow. I am a little slow.
Either have I, Roger.
So whatever mesh you make, Ed can help you clean it up.
I make a lot of mesh. Mess.
whatever mesh you make, Ed can help you clean it up. So go to the Meet and Geek. That's going to be on May 12th at the Old Town Grill on Cobb Parkway. Bring your radio or Meshtastic programming issues to discuss and resolve. If you're planning on bringing a radio to have programmed, be sure and let Ed know. Send him an email at wrqg806@gmail.com. Let him know what radio you're going to bring so he can be sure he has the software and programming cable that will work with that radio, and he can help you get your radio programmed and get on the air. The Peachtree Corners Brunch meets at JR's Log House on 6601 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard. That's at Peachtree Corners Circle on top of the hill next to the bridge. Is there a troll under the bridge?
There might be.
You never know.
You've been there.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I just was wondering about that. Put a spring in your step and join us on the third Saturday of each month, noonish until 2:30 or 3. May 16 will be the next spring gathering, so be prepared for a tasty meal, and it is tasty, and it's very affordable, and you can match some call signs with some faces. Radio enthusiasts, bring your equipment or any concerns, and they will do their best to get you squared away and on the air. To ensure the correct number of seats, please respond by text or call out to Atlanta 849-PAMELA or Atlanta 848-ERNEST, or send an email to skygazerpamela849@gmail.com. That's going to be skygazerpamela, no spaces, just skygazerpamela. Let me break. All right, let's try this again. Skygazerpamela at skygazerpamela849@gmail.com. All right, and probably the longest running lunch gathering that we have with North Georgia GMRS would be the Northeast crew, having their next lunch meetup on Wednesday, May 27. They're going to be at the Roosters Cafe in Dahlonega. As usual, all GMRS operators, ham radio operators, and anyone with an interest in 2A radio are welcome. We get things started around 11:30, and there's some great laughs and conversations. Good food, good people, and good times. For more information, contact Atlanta 403 Bobby or Gainesville 44 Joe, and they'll get you all clued in on the ins and outs of lunch at Roosters. These are great ways to engage with the membership and learn who people are, and get your questions answered if you're having a challenge.
Because especially there, Bobby's been around forever, isn't he?
Yeah, he's about 106 years old,
nice.
I think.
Literally.
Yeah. So
he's probably not listening yet.
He may be there, but listening is another because he's at the Vortex.
Right.
All right, and here's the big piece of news for today's announcements. Let me reset.
Attention.
Yeah, attention. I'm going to reset. We're going to come back with this one. All right, the North Georgia GMRS picnic was planned for Saturday, May 9, and it has officially been canceled. The concern is the parking area up there is going to be a soggy, wet mess. Now, it may not rain on the day of the picnic, but all the rain that we're looking at next week will contribute to a parking nightmare up there. And rather than have everybody show up and have a miserable time dealing with stuck cars and mud, we think the smart move is to postpone the event, and we're going to look for some better weather a little bit later in the season. I think we missed a golden opportunity with a string of nice, warm, dry days. But it's too late for that. And so, like I say, the concern is the ground is always soft up there to begin with, but with the rain that we expect to be up there next week.
Yeah, next week, not necessarily on that Saturday.
Right. We think that it's best that we just go ahead and look for a better opportunity in a drier season.
Because we didn't have much rain last year, but it was kind of soggy, and somebody did get stuck.
Yeah, it's just really soft ground.
Right.
Let's face it, the only thing that's up there most of the year are wildlife.
Bears.
So the bears, the deer, the other miscellaneous critters that are running back. There's nothing up there to pack the ground in. So even though that trail from the parking area to Flagship is pretty solid, there's really a lot of gravel and stone underneath that. That field area by the old ham tower is just not real firm, and we think that the safest thing to do is to postpone this. So stay tuned. When we come up with another date, we definitely want to have the event. But you know what would be cool, Rogers, is if somebody would go ahead and grab that date, because everybody's planning on getting together on May 9, right? Mm-hmm. What a cool thing it would be if somebody grabbed that date and find a location where we could get a lot of people together and just have a luncheon somewhere. Right. That's not necessarily the Smith family luncheon, but just a luncheon.
And get together.
Yeah, so someplace like the Marietta Diner. They've got lots of room, lots of seating there. Mm-hmm. They got a whole room in the back. We could probably just take over those 50 or 60 seats or however many it might be.
Yeah, we have many great organizers in the organization. Mm-hmm. So, hey, if you're up for it,
I think that'd be good. So if somebody would be willing to take that on, you've got just under 2 weeks to make it happen. But the date's already set. People are already planning on that date, so it's just a change in venue, right?
Right.
It's up for grabs.
It's open for grabs. So the Marietta Diner is just a suggestion. There may be any of a number of places like that that could accommodate. Let's break.
The Biggins barbecue wasn't so bad either.
You should say that when we come back on the air.
Not just on YouTube.
Yeah. So Dana, what were you saying?
I said Biggins barbecue was a pretty good venue that we had before.
Yeah, and they've got a fairly large seating area. They could accommodate a fairly large group.
And covered outside seating too.
Yeah, and you could also tailgate. We could order food from the restaurant and go into the parking lot, and we could hang out around our vehicles and stuff while we eat and visit there. So they've got the space.
We'll have Tony bring his antique car, and John Puckett will bring his, and we'll have a car show.
There you go.
Sounds like Dana wants to organize this thing.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
That's what I'm hearing.
Go ahead and make the graphic.
I have too much already.
All right, Dana, when you get all the details put together, be sure
throw it
and
up
make
on Facebook.
A Facebook post.
Yeah.
No, seriously, anybody out there that's willing to organize this, reach out and let Dana or myself know, and we can get that information made available on Facebook, and we'll make announcements on the air, and we'll see if we can get something going on. All right, that's the end of the announcements. What do we do now?
I need to shout out to Ed, Atlanta 557. I did not have my log scrolled down far enough. I didn't realize you were logging as well. So we've got a lot of duplicates in the log. If Ed, if you want to combine those or get rid of the duplicates, that would be great.
Huh. Or we'll just
have really good numbers tonight.
Yeah, and that's okay too, because the last time that I ran our logs past the auditors,
yes,
you know what they came back with?
We passed.
We quit.
Oh,
so we don't have to answer to the auditors
have any more
anymore.
auditors. Oh, well.
They've given up on auditing our weekly logs. So
Well, we have an extremely large amount of YouTube then.
yeah. So you know what? If we end up logging them multiple times, then that's just the way it plays. It'll be good.
All right.
But what happened?
And if you hear yourself get called twice on YouTube, then you have to make a comment on YouTube and like and share.
There you go. I think that's the rule.
That's a rule.
All right. What happened to our? Oh, they got moved. I see. Okay.
Okay, he did it.
That
He did it while I was talking.
scared
Wow.
me there for a
I
moment.
know.
All right. All right.
Thanks,
Well,
Ed.
hey, let's go ahead and let me acknowledge these YouTube check-ins, and when I'm done with that, we'll take additional check-ins from folks that are listening. So hang on for just one moment while we acknowledge these folks on YouTube, and then be ready to jump in with your check-ins here in just a moment. Chattanooga 69 Ronnie in Las Vegas is the first one checking in on YouTube. We've got Gainesville 42 also checking in on YouTube. We've got Michael, who is WRSN 677 in Tunnel Hill, Georgia. We've got Atlanta 151 Russell incoming. Let's break. We've got another guest check-in from WRYP 545, Danny in Knoxville. Glad to have you along tonight. We've got WRQE 398 Richard in Hayesville, Kansas. We've got Gainesville 43 David in Winder. Atlanta 194 Scott in Atlanta. Gainesville 43 David in Winder. These are the duplicates you were talking about. David, you're in there twice, so I guess you're going to have to comment to us. Rome 11, Mark in Adairsville, and Columbus 25, Peter in West Point. Those are all YouTube check-ins. Glad to have you along. At this time, let's continue on with some additional RF check-ins. We'll take check-ins from anyone on any repeater other than Flagship. Net Control, standing by.
Did you get Rhino and Bob?
This is 306. Loganville. Checking in, checking out.
All right. I got George.
This is
I got this
920.
one.
Line 306.
I think it was Atlanta 306, something 920.
This is WSGN 280, CW 57. Checking in and out.
Operator Bruce.
This is
From Stevens, Georgia.
WRCR 952, McDonough 22, Town and Stockbridge. Check me in.
I'll get to him.
I got him.
This is
Need to fill that spot.
This is WR18 241 Atlanta
There's
403. Bobby over at the Vortex in Cleveland. Checking in and out. I'm checking. I'm saying. I don't know what the subject is, but I'm
It sounded
saying.
like he said chicken.
Right.
This is WSGP 646 Atlanta 164 by way of relay 165. Dan and Julia and Marietta checking in and out. But I did try to. I was listening on Buckhead, and I think there may be a malfunction on that. I wasn't able to hear anyone on Buckhead until about 7:45. Then Justin started talking. He just came in over there like magic. But I switched to Flagship. So let me know if you can hear me. Maybe it's a problem with my radio.
Dan, you're DFQ. Oh, wait. Wrong side.
Well, it wasn't a TIN
You're
code.
quiet.
It wasn't a TIN code, though. What was that, Dana?
That was probably Dana's his chair squeaking or something.
Don't blame me.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to reset a node, so if you can kind of vamp for me here for a minute.
Vamp. I don't know. What does that word mean?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Tony. Vamp.
Okay.
WRQP 762, Gainesville 44, Joe,
That's not
Cleveland,
gonna work.
Georgia, checking in and out.
Gotcha, Joe. All right. Awkward pause.
Go ahead and acknowledge that round of check-ins, and
So
then
where did you stop with?
I stopped at YouTube check-ins, and
Well, you stopped with George. Oh, well, with Bob in Woodstock, didn't you? Atlanta 90.
yeah,
Because the YouTubes are down below.
yeah, that's right.
All right,
The
everybody.
check-ins.
Justin's doing something else, and he's throwing me under the bus here. But anyway, let's go some more check-ins. We have Atlanta 306, George in Loganville. McDonough 22, as always, Tim in Stockbridge. CW57, Operator Bruce in Stevens, Georgia. And then we have Atlanta 403. Bobby, we knew you were out there, Bobby, in Cleveland at the Vortex. Something about chicken. I think he said something. Chicken.
Sounded like it. Chicken
I don't know what he's having for dinner tonight. But anyway, then we have, where are we at? Atlanta 164, Dan, and 165, Julia. Dan, we can hear you just fine now. We have had some issues with the Buckhead repeater logging out, but it seems to be back up now. We're aware of it. We also have Gainesville 44, Joseph, and Cleveland. That's all we have so far. Did you get set back there? You ready to go again?
I have delegated that task. So the Columbus
delegated?
machine is in robot mode, and so I've got
We have robots at Columbus? Where?
currently.
Okay.
It is going
A little slow?
very slowly. So I've got somebody gonna reboot that node here in just a couple of minutes, hopefully. So,
Okay. I'm going to release the button because I'm not used to holding this button down. You ready?
yeah.
1, 2. Oh. It's all yours now.
All right. It's a complex process to hand over the PTT from,
It is.
from one position to another, but
When you're not used to holding that button down, it's
we've-
it's a little
we've,
different.
we've got it. You know what happens oftentimes is somebody's got the button down, and then I start talking, and they forget that they have the button down, and then the red light comes on and tells me that I need to recycle, and I can't. But
I don't do that to you. I think Julie does that to you.
probably it's Julie. Yeah, she
We know she's not listening tonight, so
she's
she's
always
somewhere-
she's always got the button down. Yeah.
So anyway, there was a couple more YouTubes, I think.
I think
don't know.
so. You acknowledge this round of check-ins. Let's go ahead and take one
on the
more
RF
round
side.
of check-ins from any repeater anywhere,
There
and
we
I
go.
think that'll
That'll-
round us out for check-ins
1, 2,
for a little
3.
while.
We
So
need
let's
at least
stand by.
5. We need 5 to get the
Oh,
log
to
looking
feel-
right.
Yeah, to make the log look right.
Yeah.
So 5 more check-ins from any repeater anywhere, including the flagship machine. Net control standing by.
This is
Got the first one.
Atlanta. This is Atlanta 420, WRFS 771. William in Roswell, mobile. Checking in, checking out. You guys have a great net. Enjoy listening.
This is WSMD 511 in Sugar Hill, Georgia. No tactical yet, but I'm listening as well.
Did you get that?
Not a bit. Dana, did you get that?
This is
142, checking in, checking out.
142.
That was really weird.
Yeah, you guys are freezing up a little bit, so if you see me looking to my left, I got another monitor on YouTube. So.
It's actually quite comfortable. It's not freezing in here at all.
No.
But
Well,
all right, we've had a couple of doubles in here, and we missed one because I was still addressing the Columbus issue. And
So you said you delegated, so I thought you were available.
yeah, I thought I was too, but then questions came up. So basically, all we got out of that was
420
420. All right,
Atlanta 420
420 on 430.
and 430. Well, no, it's 804.
Okay.
Bill in Roswell.
All right,
That's all we
William
got.
in Roswell is the only one that we've got. So if you checked in
William.
in the last couple of minutes, so there was at least one double, and then there was one where we got everything but the call sign. So
If you haven't heard your call sign
if you're not William in
or tech
Roswell, then if you
please
would come back.
slowly.
This is WSMG511. I'm in Sugar Hill, Georgia, on the flagship computer. I don't have a tactical yet, though. I'm listening.
Is it 511?
This is Atlanta 313, Steve and Swanee checking in and out. Checking in, checking out.
Still doubling.
This is WSFH294, Gainesville 420, Nick and Oakwood. Check me in, check me out.
Gainesville what?
420.
Thought we already had it.
That's
No, that's Atlanta.
420.
Oak,
Too many 420.
Oakwood Nick.
Atlanta 849 WROB
I see, I don't have
245. Checking in for the net.
She didn't relay in earnest.
I think he's, something I was saying earlier that he wasn't feeling good.
Ah.
Or that he went to a doctor's appointment or something. She said something about him resting if she was traveling.
All right, so let's go ahead and acknowledge Atlanta 313, Stephen in Swanee, in and out. And we heard, all I got was WSE 511, no TAC number yet. And that's okay. We'd love to have
We
you
love
on
having guests.
as a guest, but the call sign isn't quite right.
Because, yeah,
And-
we're just not used to call signs, are we?
Well, that's part of the problem. And we didn't catch your name. So if you could come back and correct us with the call sign and help us out with your name, that'd be great. Also, we heard from Gainesville 420, Nick in Oakwood, and we heard Atlanta 849, Pamela in Duluth is in there as well. Station, we heard WSE 511. We think we need one more letter in there, and maybe the number's right or wrong. I don't know. But if you can help us out with that and give us your first name, that'd be great.
Yes, sir. Call sign Whiskey Mary Golf 511. My name is Marcus, and I'm listening from Sugar Hill, Georgia.
Thank you, Marcus. Welcome.
Is it Whiskey Sam Mary Golf?
Yes.
Not Sierra?
WSMG.
What's his name? Marcus?
Marcus. My short-term memory.
All right, we got WSMG 511 Marcus. I think he said Marietta. So
Sugar Hill.
Oh, Sugar Hill. That's right.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill. That's definitely right. So we got you in there, and we'll call on you here in a little bit. And it looks
Enjoy
like,
the network.
It looks like Ed's going to roll in a couple more.
Yeah, I see a couple more throwing in there.
So I see Atlanta 827 Dale in Dawsonville is YouTube check-in. And a guest check-in from WSHX644.
On YouTube, it says Southwest Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so thank you for that check-in. And also we have WSML769 Josh in McDonough. Those are the rest of the
Welcome,
check-ins.
Josh.
So I think that's got everybody acknowledged at this
And
point.
the log is looking proper again.
Yeah, it kind of is. So I'm not sure why, but we'll
Yeah,
go with that.
That worked out.
We're going to take one more round of check-ins when we get to the end of the program. So if you didn't get checked in, don't worry about it. There'll be another chance to get your check-in in. And also, if you have any questions or comments, we'll open up the floor at the end for an opportunity to jump in with any of that. So hang out, listen in, and we're going to talk about programming your GMRS radios. One of the big things we talked about last week with CTCSS and DCS tones, it's one of the things that really, because when you buy a Part 95 radio, it's already programmed for repeaters, right?
Correct.
It comes out of the box. It comes with the offsets. It's already ready to go. But what a lot of people don't understand is you also need to have your tones programmed into the radio, and the tones are going to be very specific to which repeater you're trying to hit. Because in all of the United States, there are only 8 repeater pairs.
Only 8.
And so we reuse, even with the North Georgia GMRS, we have, 18, 19, 20 different repeaters on the air. So we're using, in some cases, the same frequencies on 2 or 3 different machines. And you need to know which machine is local to you to
Right.
put in the tones for that machine. And that information is listed
On our website.
on our website. And we'll show you that page here at some point. But so
So
You
you're
can-
saying tones are valid on GMRS and ham?
Yeah,
Amateur?
yeah, and especially in GMRS. All right,
Okay.
so you have to have the tones in there, and if you don't, you're going to hear traffic
Right.
coming from the repeaters, but you won't be able to talk. And so if you're in that situation where you can hear people, but no one seems to want to ever answer you, it's probably because you need to program the tones into your radio. So a couple of great ways to get that done. One, show up at one of these luncheons that we just talked about here a little bit ago.
Yep.
You can go back to YouTube and replay that portion and find out when and where those lunch gatherings are going to be. Let's break. Another way is to ask questions about programming your radio on our Facebook page. Unlike a lot of Facebook pages, when you ask a question on the North Georgia GMRS Facebook group, you'll get a good quality answer
Right.
with actual detailed information about how to program your specific radio. We have lots of members in the group who will take the time, or probably already have the radio, the same radio that you have,
Right.
and they've already programmed. They already know how to do it, so they'll share with you the steps of how to program it from the front panel, or how to program it using Chirp, or how to program it your radio
And
using.
we already have some code plugs in there as well.
Yeah, there's some code plugs on the Facebook page.
You might find the radio you have.
If you go to the files section, there might be one for your radio. Now, bear in mind that some of these code plugs might be old.
Yeah, check the date.
And it could be out of date or incomplete. But in most cases, these code plugs, in fact, somebody ought to go through that and kind of clean that up a little bit and maybe
Right.
purge some of the old stuff out. But these code plugs will get you started and should get you able to hit at least some of the repeaters. As time goes on, every now and then we get into a situation where we have to change the tones on a particular repeater.
Right.
We don't take that lightly. So a lot of serious thought and consideration goes into changing tones on a repeater, because it forces everyone that uses that repeater to reprogram their radios.
Not just 5 people? How many people?
Well, it could be 5 people. It could be 500 people.
Yeah, more like
depending on which
500.
repeater. So if it's the flagship repeater, it's going to force a lot of people to reprogram. And we have had to change the tones on that machine in the past. We don't want to do that again if we don't have to.
Right.
But if we get into a situation where another repeater comes on the air and begins to interfere with us, that might be our only course of action. So bear in mind that over time, some of those code plugs could be out of date.
Yeah.
And they could have. So one way to check that is to look at the code plug. What's a code plug? Dana, what's a code plug?
Oh, code plug is pretty much your entire menu lineup that you would want in your specific radio to allow you, well, put it this way, instead of loading them up individually, separately, one by one, a code plug allows you to dump everything in very quickly.
So it's like an INI file. It's a software file that you can install in your radio that will tell your radio how to operate on various frequencies. And so
yeah, I mean, there are things that you got to check. I mean, like you said, Justin, as far as some may be out of date, but you also have to check for specific things like firmware versions and things like that, because we all know the Anytone 878, which is a great radio, very popular. It has 3 different versions of firmware.
Right.
So you got to make sure you're using the right one.
Let's break. So, and that's something too. Don't take updating your firmware lightly.
No.
If you have a radio and it works and it does all the things that you need it to do, I would suggest that you not update the firmware. One of the things that you can run into, particularly if it's a Part 90 radio, if you got a Part 90, say you've got an old Kenwood TK880 radio, and it's perfectly happy living in its wideband world, and you find some new firmware version out there, you might possibly turn that radio forevermore into a narrowband radio. Now, what's the difference between wideband and narrowband? Tony, do you know the difference?
Well, I mean, I know that don't know the definition, but all GMRS is wideband, is it not?
GMRS is wideband, but most of the radio world outside of GMRS is narrowband. And so in Part 90 radios in particular, the commercial radio space is all narrowband. It's 12.5 kilohertz is your bandwidth for any particular channel in Part 90 commercial radio. But if the older radios may still be wideband, as many of them were. I think it was about 15 years ago that commercial went to narrowband. Maybe it was more like 18 years ago, somewhere in that time frame. The commercial spectrum, the FCC forced all the commercial operators to convert their wideband radios into narrowband. And that basically what that does is it frees up a little bit more frequency spectrum so that we can cram more channels into the same frequency space. So narrowband radio in commercial radio is a thing now. And so if we're using Part 90 radios and it's got a recent firmware version in it, it may be stuck in narrowband. And it can be challenging to get a Part 90 radio. If it's a Kenwood radio and it's in narrowband, Kenwood doesn't allow you to go back in firmware versions. So you can't, once you update the firmware to the latest version, you're kind of stuck there. You can't roll it back to a prior version. Motorola is much the same. When you update that radio to its newest firmware, it's going to force that radio into narrowband operations. However, Motorola does offer, I think you have to pay something for it. It's not free, but it does offer what they call a wideband entitlement.
Right.
I'm not sure that's available with a Kenwood radio. I think once you're narrowband, you're narrowband. So be very careful about updating firmware on a Part 90 radio. Now we get into GMRS. The GMRS rules specifically allow for wideband, and with that in mind, if you're using a Part 95 radio, you don't have to worry about wideband or narrowband. Let me break. If it's a Part 95 radio, it's just going to be wideband, and whatever firmware version you're running, you'll be fine in wideband mode. Now, one thing to make note of, if you're running a Part 90 radio from Hobbit Communications, have you guys heard of Hobbit Communications?
Once or twice.
Does anybody here have a radio from Hobbit Communications?
So teleprompter one.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you have a radio, if you have a radio from Hobbit Communications, those are Part 90 radios with the latest in firmware. However, Hobbit has a specific license that allows them to program radios for wideband for GMRS purposes. So most radio shops are not going to have that license. They're not going to have that privilege of programming in wideband. But Hobbit Communications, Kenwood knows that we are a GMRS radio group, and that Hobbit Communications exists to serve the GMRS radio community, and so they have allowed us to have the wideband privileges on programming radios. So bear that in mind. That's one of the few places you can get wideband for a Part 90 radio. Let me break. All right, so I got to press the button.
Yes. You're in charge of the button.
I don't think I'm finished coughing.
No?
Yeah, let me break again. All right, good job covering for me while I'm off here.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for that.
All right. I thought Dana was going to do it.
Yeah.
The new guy always gets thrown under the bus, or the most recent guy always gets thrown under the bus.
Well, he's got the newest face.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head, right?
Well, we can't all afford to pay for those fancy upgrades, but
right, exactly.
You're rocking it, man.
Yeah.
You're definitely rocking the new face. So, all right. With that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the top of the log here and see if we have any questions or comments about wideband. It looks like first on the roster is going to be Chattanooga 260 Colt in the area rug capital of
Carpet.
Northwest Georgia.
Tires. Something tires. Myers?
You know, this is Chattanooga 260 or WSDM 494. They call us the carpet capital, the rug capital. But lately, we have a new title that we've been called. Let me break. We are now the PFAS capital of the world, so they say. We got Aaron Brockovich just moved to town, and I don't know, something about drinking the water. You don't do that.
Uh-oh.
I really don't have anything to add to this conversation, except for, I don't know. Sometimes it's just better to say less. Back to you, Net Control.
PFAS. So we're talking about things like microplastics,
Right.
and
A lot of that in the water up
chemical infiltration into the water supplies, and if you've done any reading about the PFAS situation at all, it's pretty much exists in every body of water everywhere.
there. Yeah.
It's
Everywhere. Water. Something about water.
it's become pretty invasive. So,
Oh, okay.
and apparently Colt's been drinking it. So
Uh-oh.
that explains a lot, actually.
I figured he might have
think-
more to talk about programming radios.
Yeah.
He's
well,
done a few.
he may know some tricks, and that's good. So if you're in the Dalton area and you need to program a radio, I think Colt would be a
Go to the
good
tire
resource.
shop.
Go to the tire shop and ask for Colt, and see if he can help you out. Let me rake.
You got that one? Swallowed it wrong?
Yeah.
You good?
What I need is a big old loogie
All right. We're going to go to... We're going to move on to McDonough 24.
Go ahead and take it.
All right. While Justin coughs his way through this, we're going to go ahead and move on to McDonough 24, Robert in Macon. Robert, you got any questions about programming radios, or have you programmed it?
Looks like he's in and out.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, looks like.
Oh, I did. I did miss that up. Sorry about that, Robert. I looked at the wrong check mark. McDonough 24 is in and out, so we're going to move back up to Gainesville 63, Willard and Homer. Do you have any questions about programming your radio? It's a cat.
Right.
And a little kid.
Sounds like
Just
he's
drunk.
talking.
I guess we got no. Let me go back to the button here. Where? All right, Gainesville 63, Willard. I guess one more time for you. Got anything about programming your radio tonight on tones or anything to do with that? We did tones last week, didn't we? I'm still on last week. So it's about programming radios. Gainesville 63.
I think Gainesville 63 is typically in and out. So with that in mind, let's move on down to Rod. Go ahead and take it.
Oh, Noonan 57, Rod in Noonan, Georgia. What is that at the end you put down? You put a note there?
Yeah, from the North Georgia VE team.
All right, Rod. Hey, got any question? Well, if he's a VE guy, he should know how to program a radio, do you?
Well, I mean,
Got any insight on sharing with us?
he might. I mean, because he's a VE, we expect him to have an elevated understanding and knowledge of Part 97 rules.
Okay.
But that doesn't really have anything to do with Part 95.
Okay. All right, Rod, what you got?
Rod's probably not used to nets running this long.
You got the button again, don't you?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just afraid if I hit the button.
You got a cough?
Yeah.
It's all right.
All right. Rod's probably not used to nets running this long, so my guess is we've exceeded his attention span. But glad to have you along, Rod. And if you do have any questions or comments, you can throw them up in the YouTube chat, or you can come back at the end when the floor is open. Next on our list, we'll have Noonan 120 Carmine in Fayetteville. Carmine, do you have any questions about programming your radio? Did you have all your radios programmed at Hobbit Communications? Noonan 120. Carmine, are you there? All right, not hearing anything from Carmine. We're going to show him as in and out and keep right on moving. Next on the roster is Atlanta 557, Ed in Kennesaw. Ed, do you how often do you come to showing new users how to program at your monthly luncheons?
Well, good evening, everyone. At the lunches, we've had a few, a handful, but more often than not, we've helped people out through the Facebook or just direct communications, text or calls. But yeah, it is a great place to come if you have problems or have questions about how to program your radio. So I would say there's really three types of ways you can program radios. Let me break. The first is, as Justin talked about, get your seller to program it for you, whether it's hobby communication. Sometimes online sellers will give you up to 10 or 15 frequencies that they'll program in there, but have someone do it for you. That's the best way. No work required on your end. Or else, do it yourself. I'm a big fan of doing it myself using CPS, customer programming software. And there's really two kinds. There's what I'll call generic CPS, which is something like CURP or RT Systems, where you have one software that does all types of radios and manufacturer radios. And there's also the specific CPS for your particular radio from that manufacturer. So those are the three ways to do it. Break one more time. What I tend to do is when I get a new radio, I will go to the CPS and I will save what the stock configuration is so that I could always go back to the way it was when I got it if I ever need to. Once you save it, then I would tend to use a generic CPS first. That is because I can take the configuration from another radio from another manufacturer that I have and cut and paste the frequencies and the channels directly into that new radio without having to type them in myself. Once I do that, then I'll go to the manufacturer's software. That'll give me more access to more functions and maybe some settings that are there that are not in the generic CPS, and let me do some final tweaks. And then again, once you have that done, your radio should be ready to go. Don't forget to save it. So now I have a stock configuration and I have a working configuration, and that seems to be the best way for me when I get a new radio. Back to you.
Very good stuff. And of course, there's also the other method of programming the radio. You've talked about having the seller program it, and you talked about having it programmed using the CPS or you know the custom software from the manufacturer or the generic stuff from Chirp or what have you. But there's also in many radios, in Part 95 radios in particular, a method of programming the radios from the face or from the handset. And oftentimes it's a simple set of steps that you can find a particular bank of a channel, and you can program using those steps. You can program the PL, the CTCSS or the DCS tone for that given frequency. And how often do people hand you a radio and say, "Can you program this for me?" versus do they ask you to show them how to program it?
Well,
I'm not sure where
in
it's
my
coming from.
experience at the luncheons, it's been about half and half. A lot of times people will come in and say, "Hey, I tried. I couldn't get everything," or "It's partly working. What can you do for me?" And other times it's like, "Okay, here's the radio. I have no idea what to do. Can you do it for me?" And you're right. I neglected to talk about that. Part 95 radios will allow you to program from the face of the radio. The other thing that a lot of 95 radios, especially handhelds, are now doing is the wireless copy. So if you have a friend that has the same radio that you have, or if you bought a radio because your friend recommended it to you, and it's one of the newer HTs, it probably will have, or not probably, but it might have a wireless copy feature where your friend brings his radio close to yours, he pushes transmit, you push receive, set up your radio to receive, and you hear a bunch of noise, kind of like the old dial-up modem days. And then at the end of 30, 45 seconds, it stops, it reboots, and your radio is all programmed. So that's another approach.
Yeah, that's something I hadn't really thought of, but I'm aware exists. As these radios, newer radios now are capable of Bluetooth, and so they can be programmed from your phone, or they can be programmed from, by cloning a code plug out of another radio. What's cool about the cloning, what the best part about that is, you can have the same channel programming as your friend's radio has, and so when you get into a bind and you've set it to the wrong zone, or you've done something that you don't understand where you're at with the radio, because you have a cloned code plug from another radio, the person you got that program from can probably talk you through getting the radio back the way that you need to over the telephone or face to face or whatever works. But that gives you the most flexibility in terms of being able to get support if you're a novice at technical things and electronics and such. So cloning a code plug, I think, is going to be the thing that happens more and more frequently as we move forward.
Yes.
And I noticed right here in the comments, one of our users, Jake J. Hunter, says that he just purchased 2 TDH9s, and that's what he did.
Nice.
So, and I think that's great. Once you get one programmed, you can program the one next to it, and
right.
we can duplicate them that way. And if you're going to have a bunch of radios for the family,
yeah,
that's a great way to do that, because now you've got a bunch of novice users, but they're all using the similar radio with the same program, and so whoever it is in the family that programmed the radios can do the diagnostics and troubleshooting on all of those cloned radios as well. All right.
Appreciate you doing the log, Ed.
Does he have any comments from any of the users in the log? Ed, have you had a chance to go through that?
I've been busy logging. I think we covered most of the comments there.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Mr. Dana.
Go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, there's two sides to using a code plug. One, of course, you get it. You load up your radio, you write it to your radio, and you think, well, that's it. There's a very important part that needs to be discussed, and that's saving your code plug after you load it up. If you make any changes to that code plug, which you're more than welcome to fit your radio and what you want, save that to a file. Date it, but put the pertinent information on the title, the radio, the model, the date, something that will, show you it's your most recent code plug. Because that way, if anything happens down the road and let's say your radio bricks up or something like that and you need to reset it, bingo, you got the latest code plug that you used for your radio.
Yeah, and that's Ed had made mention too that when you get the radio brand new out of the box, one of the first things that you should do when you very first plug a radio into a computer or a computer into a radio is save the factory code plug. Right. It's going to be blank. There won't be anything really in there, but it gives you a good place to return to. So if you get to the place where your code plug gets corrupted, and nothing is working and nothing shows on your radio but gibberish, if you have that factory code plug, you can install that in your radio, hopefully, and be able to recover.
And if you start down that rabbit hole, you will end up putting it on a flash drive and then putting it somewhere else so it's safe in case your laptop crashes, and then you don't have that.
Yeah. It's
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I think
yeah.
Put it on a flash drive or put it on an external drive.
it's on one of these. I promise
He
you,
doesn't.
it's on one of these.
You know, you say
I
that,
don't know which
and I
one.
have all of my code plugs on a flash drive. So good deal.
You don't think about it sometimes.
I-
You just save that file on that laptop, and then something happens, and that laptop goes bye-bye and crashes, and you can't get it back, and then where's your code plug? But if you
It's in
save it
here.
on an external drive or a flash drive, throw it somewhere. You don't. Nobody throws those away. I don't care how small they are.
Or you can take it to one of the meetups and
Yep.
just have it in your pocket just in case someone needs it, and you
Right.
can help them out.
Or you can take it with you, and you can get a copy of somebody else's code plug.
That too.
So that's all good stuff. And another thing that you can do is a lot of times you can save these code plugs as a CVS file, comma separated values, and CSV. What did I say?
C is
Comma separated
CVS.
value file. Just know that.
Yeah.
Let's break. And by doing that code plug becomes a little more generic, and so that is something that oftentimes you can import into other CPS, other programs. So that's a generic transport of those code plug values. And so if the CPSs are compatible at all, you should be able to take someone else's code plug and grab all the frequencies and stuff that they've got programmed into your radio, zones and everything, and be able to save that in a way that you can import into another radio, even if it's not the same make and model.
I did that with my between my 878 Anytone and the 578.
Mhm.
I saved it as that CSV file, and then everything didn't port over to the 578, like some of the extra stuff, like
not
the
all,
colors,
not
and
the
some of
same
the
manufacturer,
extra stuff.
same kind of radio. The code plugs are slightly different that
Right.
you can't just swap them. So
Yeah,
you have
it
to cut
was-
and paste.
It wasn't exactly 1-to-1, but it was close enough.
But it
I
saves a
set
lot
it
of
to
that
some extra
redundant
stuff.
data entry stuff. So
yeah.
you can get the bulk of that data imported into the CPS, and then you just have to go in and tweak some of the finer parameters. So it's
Right.
the global parameters like colors and zones and stuff like
Right.
that. You might have to tweak some of those things. But
And we're known to do this. A lot of this we're talking kind of goes on the amateur side as well. We there's only so many frequencies you can put in for the GMRS, but around here I think Georgia has, what I looked the other day, 38 repeaters in Georgia for GMRS. So you could have quite a few listings in there,
that's right. That's right.
especially if you travel the whole state.
So good stuff. All right, Ed, thanks for that. Let's move on. And next we have Atlanta 532 Tom in Flowery Branch. Tom, do you clone your code plugs on all the various radios you have around your property?
Good evening, Net Control. This is Atlanta 532.
These are not the clones you're looking
I'm one of
for.
those guys who programs radios
Gotta
from
do
the
the hand
face.
thing.
I have a couple of your favorite radios,
Star Wars.
Justin, the GM30s, which I'll say that laughingly. And I program those from the face, and my little DB20G, I can program that one too, and seems to work. I wouldn't say computer illiterate, but I have vision problems and don't work a computer very well. So usually doing things from the face works pretty good. So it's worked for me so far, and I just keep doing it that way. I've only got a few radios anyway, so I haven't gotten into the total, 50 different radios yet, but maybe one day I will. Let me break. But it's always a good way if you have a Part 95 radio to know how to do it from the face anyway, because if you're out in the wilderness or east of Eden or something like that, and you need to change something or put a tone in, you should know how to do that from the face if you can. But that's about it. And one other comment I have, not to do with programming radios, but might be with Julie's tips. If I'll send an email to her to maybe reissue the general GMRS user rules about, we've got enough new users out there who could use a few tips on etiquette and quick keying and things of the like. So just to throw that out there. Anyway, back to you, Net Control.
That's a great suggestion.
Yes.
And yeah, Tom, you should send that email.
And who's he going to send it to?
He's going to send the email to Julie at NGGMRS.org and encourage her to produce an updated version of the rules and etiquette. We'll have to look and see. I don't know if we have that coming up in our schedule anytime soon, but it certainly could be. We can adjust this. I know a guy who can edit this thing.
And, if anybody else wants to send her an email and encourage her to get back on Julie's tips.
I was just going to say we should ask everybody on YouTube to send her an email.
Send her an email and ask her to do an episode on new user tips and radio etiquette.
There you go. New user tips and etiquette.
Yeah. I don't see that coming
up anytime soon
on any of our upcoming plans. So with that, and that is a good point. We do have a lot of new users out there, and I think that could go a long way towards helping some folks learn how to behave on the air. So
yeah, it's just the little things a lot of times too. We are a family oriented. That you never know who's listening, so you kind of got to be respectful and mindful of who's talking and who's out there and could be listening.
Yeah,
and I think we have a whole lot more listeners than a lot of people realize.
A lot of lurkers. Yeah,
I wasn't gonna put it that way.
Yeah, well, really, and through the week, that's what I do. I listen as much as I can. I don't listen anywhere near as much as I'd like to, but I listen as much as I can, and I enjoy a lot of the conversations that I hear through the week.
Right,
and it does make for an opportunity for me to make notes about things that we should be talking about on the air.
Right.
Because sometimes these are questions that come up that are valid. Like for instance, just today I heard somebody question, how do we know what the weather's going to be on May 9? Well,
I don't know if it forecasts that far out or not. Maybe.
There are some extended forecasts that go out but they're not very accurate. The farther out you go in a forecast, the less accuracy you can expect. But we can, I think, expect that forecasting for next week, that's calling for rain,
right,
is going to happen. And so if it rains next week, the chances are we're going to have a muddy mess up there. Yeah. So that was the whole reason.
I think it's more about the terrain that's there around Flagship.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are disappointed that we're not because, everybody got excited. I was happy to see, we're going to get to see a lot of people we haven't met before and all that. But I think you're right. I think it's more of a safety issue. Plus, we don't need 5 people getting stuck and then having to call a wrecker and then, and this, it kind of could snowball out.
It sure could. Let's break. Yeah. Yeah, and it's the whole call a wrecker. It's the potential for damage to vehicles.
Well, and then we have you have to walk. You have to, where you park. You have to walk. I don't know what is it, 100 yards,
something like
yards.
that.
So you have to walk in that same ground that far. Yeah. It's not uphill really, but you have to walk that far too. So if it's muddy there, you don't need everybody walking in the mud.
Well, we would have a golf cart and a couple of small vehicles to help move people back and forth. But nonetheless, I mean, if it's going to be wet, soft ground, it's going to be unpleasant to be operating in and walking through and all of those
and I
things.
think also too, I know everybody can't listen, to or us rambling on all night long, but if you hear somebody else on the radio talking about this, wondering why, please share that. It's more of a safety issue than anything. We don't have predicted weather. We don't know.
That's right. All right. I've lost my log. It's right.
We have
here.
a log.
I'm just on the wrong tab.
Oh,
there we go. So next on the list, we have Gainesville 100 Randall. He wanted to be in and
Randall,
out, but we
the
broke
ham.
the log, and our in and out button doesn't work. So Randall,
I think just because he became a tech, he has to now talk on the GMRS side.
Yeah, I guess first and foremost, what is your call sign? I was just wondering if that's something we would laugh out loud about.
I forgot about that. Yes. Come on, Randall. done copped out on us. He's got that
Was
new
it-
tech.
is
He's
it-
probably on the ham side.
I think y'all need to invite him to Vanguard.
Yeah, that could very well be. Randall, you're going to have to come and hang out with us one night here in Vanguard. And maybe next week with your brand new, is it KR4?
LOL.
Right.
Is
so
that what it
all
is?
our GMRS fans of Randall's, maybe if you talk to him on the radio, ask
Yeah.
him what LOL means.
That's right. So I think that's a great call sign. You know, I've got a call sign that I love because it's sequential to Julie's. All right, so Julie and I have
Little
sequential
sentimental
call
value
signs.
there.
Yeah. So even though it's a technician, you know, 6-character
Right.
call sign, I'm going to keep it probably forever, just
Yeah,
because it's.
I wouldn't change.
Yeah.
No.
So and that's also one that I would, if I had his call sign, I'd have a tough time.
Changing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pulling any
You
kind of
know,
a
and
vanity.
even if you go and get a vanity call sign like I did, you know, it could snap back on you because what am I stuck with? Noodle.
Well,
So,
yeah,
you know, it
you
doesn't always
put
look
yourself in
great.
that hole, didn't you?
Yeah, I think the noodle is a fantastic call sign, and I love it personally. So
It's easy to remember.
I do
Yes.
hope that you never change that. So that's fantastic. Next on the roster, we have WRJR959 Steve is a guest check-in. Steve, are you still with us? Do you have any questions for the net tonight?
You see Ronnie's comment. Well, he probably fell asleep. He probably didn't think this net would take this long.
Well, that could very well
I mean,
be.
he checked in what, an hour ago?
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and keep right on trucking and move on to Atlanta 123. Rhino in Atlanta. Rhino, do you have any questions or comments for programming your radio?
Good evening, Net Control, WSJL 977, Atlanta 123, Rhino on Chester Bridge Road for station ID. I don't, I mean, you know, I listen and learn. I've learned so much from this network, and thank you so much for everything that you guys do. I have programmed all the radios that I use, and I'm just as surprised as anybody that they work when they do. I do a victory lap around the yard, and I have RT systems. I have Chirp. I've used them both. I do save my code plugs, but it's not because I'm some radio technical genius. I was just terrified that I wouldn't be able to use the doggone thing I just sank all this money into. So I've really enjoyed it. Let me cycle real quick. But yeah, I've had a blast. Great hobby. I'm out here in the radio. I'm out here in the yard with the kids. They're listening. They're like, "What in the world is going on your hip, Dad?" Yeah, like I said, I've gotten everything to work, and it started with I just wanted to get some FRS radios for the kids, and that's where it all began. FRS, the gateway frequency, our gateway band. But that's all I've got. Back to you, Net Control. It's always a blast. WSJL 977, Atlanta 123, and I'll be clear.
Good stuff, Rhino. And yeah, FRS and Simplex is the safe zone.
Yes, it is.
For,
I think a lot of people
kids.
start getting the kids some radios and let them talk. And
Yeah,
it just opens the door, doesn't it?
Well, and so many people, have gotten a radio for one reason or another, and not really knowing anything about it, and flipping through the channels. Even with FRS radios, they'll hear all of the GMRS channels, and so they hear the traffic.
What
and,
is this? Who are these people?
So I love FRS for that reason, and that's also that's the perfect environment for the kids to play. And if you scan through the channels right here in this neighborhood, and I'm sure it's the same in your neighborhood.
Yep.
If you scan through the channels, you'll likely hear kids playing on
Oh yeah.
on their walkie-talkies, and it's neat to hear. I used to try to engage them, but I've had too many encounters with angry dads.
Why are you talking to my kids?
So yeah, so I just leave it alone now.
Yep.
Whenever I hear that, I just leave that alone. But it is fun to hear the kids talking on the
It is.
radio, and that's all we have left, because I'd love to have them on the air with us here, but we just can't do that these days.
Not these days.
But that's good stuff, Rhino, and glad to know that was what it took to get you here with us, and glad to have you along. FRS radio is completely valid. All right, It's got its limitations. So if you want to do simplex in FRS, you almost have to be close enough to see them.
Right.
Line of sight is almost literal in our FRS because the power is so low.
Or at least in the same house.
Yeah. Now, on some FRS frequencies, you can get up to, I believe, 2 watts now.
Oh, yeah?
With the 2017
that.
rule change, you can go up to 2 watts on FRS in some of the frequencies that are not shared with GMRS. So, that's gonna enhance your range considerably.
Right.
But you still, unless you're ridgeline to ridgeline,
Right.
with no obstructions, and you're both at very high elevations, you might get multiple miles in that scenario. But if you're trying to work through the woods or through a cityscape, through normal terrain, you're just not going to get tremendous range out of that.
And I got a funny story about that. On Friday nights, Simplex, if I'm in one parking lot there in Dunwoody, I can hear the Regal Cinemas. If I go around the corner, I can hear Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah,
And it's on the same frequency,
wow.
on FRS radio. So, yeah, and I don't think they can hear each other, but I can hear both of them when I'm in the middle or if I'm closer to one or the other.
right.
I say, do you put an order
I
in?
thought about it. That might speed things up a little bit.
That's hilarious.
You put an order in.
Let's break.
But it's a
It's a
But no,
black
it's a-
Audi
it's a-
coming in. He needs a large
Yeah.
order to go.
yeah. Let me get a Chick-fil-A sandwich, some fries. Well, no, but it's fun though listening to people, and I do hear kids in my neighborhood as well. So, it's good to hear kids on the radio.
It is.
Yeah, and so we often discount FRS because it is limited in power, and so its effective range is like you say, you're on top of the parking deck, so you're probably hearing several blocks away. Whereas if you're on the surface, you might not hear them at all.
Right.
And you're right. I'll bet that both operate on the same channel and they can't hear one another. But we also hear sometimes in GMRS we'll hear hotels or hospitals or things like that are operating.
I hear a lot of. I hear it even from the house every now and then. I think there's a daycare or a school close, and I can hear when the kids get out in the car line and
Right.
and all that. I can hear that every now and then on certain channels.
Yeah, and so maybe they're using FRS radio and they're perfectly legit.
Right.
Maybe they're using GMRS radio improperly. Is it worth pursuing? I mean, it's an opportunity maybe to educate somebody, but how do you do that in a constructive way that because really, honestly, if it's school children being dismissed, that probably needs to happen on a commercial frequency.
Right.
That they need to get a license, and they need to have, and they shouldn't have any trouble getting a license. But a license costs $1,000 ish. By the time you pay for the frequency coordination and licensing and so on, and the equipment, and whereas if you buy some radios from Walmart, you can hand them. The PTA can do that. It's within their budget. It's within their means. And if in an hour they're done.
Right. Yeah, they're not on very long.
They're just gone. They're not going to be on there until tomorrow, and so it's not really hurting anybody.
No rag shoes going on.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they're not taking up any kind of repeater channel or anything like
Right.
that. They're on a simplex, one of the lower ones.
So, I think that's all fine, even though it may be technically improper, and maybe even in violation of FCC rules. I don't think it's worth trying to pursue any sort of an enforcement, because ultimately what that means is if you're going to force them into using a commercial frequency, it's going to be taxpayer funded.
Right.
We're going to have to pay for that. So If they're paying for it out of PTA budget, out of their little, $29
Right.
Amazon radios, then that's
So be it.
yeah. All right, what did we do with the log? Let's see. It looks like next on our list. Who did we just talk to? Was that Rhino?
Yes.
It looks like next on our list is McDonough 22 Tim in Stockbridge. Tim has a classic story about how
he's
he
programmed a few radios.
Yeah, he has programmed, and he's programmed by proxy several radios.
Okay.
Let me break. But Tim has a great story about how he found North Georgia GMRS. And Tim, do you have any comments about programming radios? Do you have any advice for a brand new GMRS user?
Well, good evening, everyone. Yes, I have by now programmed quite a few radios for others and for myself. We're talking about saving code plugs. I found out a long time ago those thumb drives are hard to keep track of. There's hardly any room to write on them what they actually are for. So after you get several of them, code plugs on thumb drives, you just, unless you got one code drive with, a couple of terabytes or something on it, you just put all your code plugs on one. But I save my code plugs in the cloud. So I've got Dropbox, and I've got Box, and of course Google Drive. I got about 50 to 100 gigabytes on each one. So all my important documents now are saved in the cloud. I can change laptops or computers in about 30 minutes time and have all my documents and everything right there because everything's loaded in the cloud. Let me break. But anyway, things are getting easier and easier. Someone mentioned before the new TD-H9 radio. And I have one of those little puppies coming tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. It's the first new radio I've bought in quite a while. And it is a Part 95 approved radio when operating in GMRS mode. But it also can be switched to operate in ham frequencies on transmit and receive. It also has GPS, APRS. It can be programmed with Bluetooth. It can be programmed with a C cable, USB-C cable, or it can be programmed through the K plug on the side like a regular radio on a computer. So there's almost no excuse to not be able to figure that thing out. It's got all kinds of features that you'd never think. You can even text on it as long as you're texting from one H9 to another. You can't text, your mother on her iPhone, but you can text from one H9 radio to another. It's probably the most advanced radio that I've seen come out in a while now, the TID Radio H9 handheld. So I'm really looking forward to that coming tomorrow. And as a ham, being able to switch modes, unlock it into ham mode when you want to. And the APRS and all of this stuff, I mean, it's got so many features on it, it's probably going to take me 3 months to learn all the features. But, yeah, I love the programming. It was really scary at first, but once you know what it is, it's really pretty simple. But anyway, I can't think of anything else new to add. I will throw it back to Net Control. Thanks, guys.
Very good stuff. And Tim is one of those that he would see somebody comment on Facebook about programming a radio, and he would say, well, what radio do you have? And then Tim would go and download the manual and then come back with a step-by-step guide. Press this button, hold this key, do this, enter this menu, and press these buttons, and there you are, you're programmed. And so Tim, I've seen Tim do that on a number of different models of radio that he doesn't even have. So he's taken the time to go through and download manuals for radios for other people and help. There's no telling how many people he's helped get on the air. So that's very cool. Glad to know that we've got people like that out there that are just willing to serve the community and help folks navigate through. And features on some of these new radios. Like, so a few years ago, we saw the changes in rules that allow for GPS and SMS messaging over GMRS simplex frequencies. It's not permitted over repeater frequencies, but it is permitted over simplex. And so text messaging between simplex radios is actually a thing. A lot of the Bofang radios have that capability. I think it's the GMRS Pro that allows for that. Bluetooth capabilities are kind of neat because of the ability to you use a headset and the ability to like, for instance, I have a radio with Bluetooth capability that has a little bitty rechargeable PTT button that you can Velcro to your steering wheel.
That indie tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that gets the PTT out of the way. You don't have to necessarily be holding on to something. You're holding on to the steering wheel anyway, I hope, while you're driving. So it's not the most convenient thing, especially if you're trying to navigate in traffic. But if you're out on the highway and you're not doing a lot of, specific navigation, then it's kind of a neat thing to have. So
I tried that once. I had it on the seat belt. And just kind of press it in like that. It worked okay. It worked out all right.
Yeah, so if you've got that combined with a headset, that's a pretty neat way to go. And, looking at some of the comments up here and, comments about some of the cheap Chinese radios may offer frequencies that'll get you in trouble. Yes, if you're buying a non-Part 95 radio, you can get in trouble because it'll offer transmit capabilities on frequencies that GMRS licenses don't cover. So if you're using a radio like that, you want to be sure that you're at least knowledgeable enough to know what frequencies you're allowed to transmit on and what frequencies you're not. Let's break. Another comment that I see up here is used Part 90 radios, and this is my favorite. All right, so I love a lot of the Kenwood Part 90 radios. They're a bit of a pain to program, but once they're programmed, they are. I mean, let's face it, GMRS, it's phone service, right? There's no CW. There's no special digital modes here, other than we can do simplex SMS and GPS stuff now, but we can't do that in repeaters. So if you're talking about installing a radio in your vehicle so that you can operate on the North Georgia GMRS network, Part 90 radios are the bomb because it's a high-performance radio. It just works really, really well. It does that one thing brainlessly simply once you get it programmed. And it's super, super reliable, rugged. The microphone on a good Kenwood radio, you could knock somebody out with that thing. They're solid and they're stout. Some of the cheap Chinese aftermarket Kenwood microphones are not so much, but if you get a legitimate factory Kenwood handset, it's like the old Bell telephone handsets. They were made to really last, and so I think that's a great thing. Same is true with the Motorola radios. You get an old used Part 90. Now, they're a little more. I think that Motorola is a little more challenging to program than the Kenwood is. But if you can get a hold of the rib and get a hold of the CPS, it should be fine. So, reprogramming those commercial radios for GMRS service is great. One thing you have to be aware of is that the band split on some radios in the commercial field, it may be a UHF radio and it may do 400 megahertz, but it may only go from 430 to 450.
Right.
And that won't do you any good.
Not on the GMRS side.
In GMRS. It's great for ham radio, but not for GMRS. So you really want to be sure your radio will cover from 450 to 470, or beyond that, 450 to 520, or 430 to 470. Whatever your band split is, you want to make sure it covers all of that GMRS spectrum so that you can actually use the radio in GMRS. So it's one of those things that if you're not aware of, you could buy a radio that you can't use. The beauty of these old Part 90 radios is oftentimes you can get a radio for $100-ish on eBay and places like that will outperform many of the brand new radios that you can buy for many times that price. So, and if you do want brand new Part 90 radios, Hobbit Communications is the best source for that. It will come to you pre-programmed, and you can add custom programming to that for an additional fee. But let me break. That radio will show up at your door and be ready to plug and play, and you can be on the air with it immediately. So that's a great option for if you want to have a Part 90 radio and you'd like to get a brand new one. All right, next on the list we've got Atlanta 403. Bobby is at the Vortex with chickens.
Something about chickens.
That's what I heard. So, Bobby, what have you got for us this week?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Chickens? Oh, check-ins. Okay. All right. Now I get it. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. We're all about programming radios. Yeah, well, in 9 years, I've done my share of that. I can't even remember how many radios I programmed. And but like everybody's saying, yeah, when you get the radio, dump that code plug into your computer, wherever, save it, and then start from scratch. Because, you know, if you brick it, you know, that way you always get something to fall back on. But, yeah, everybody knows I'm mostly an ICOM guy, and I've helped a lot of the people out here with their ICOMs. And, you know, I love doing the radio programming. I think it's part of the fun of this whole radio thing. And, yeah, that's it. And there's so many new bells and whistles, like you've been saying. And you got to remember, though, if you're getting a radio for GMRS, you don't need 90% of them bells and whistles.
Yeah, Bobby still has a flip phone, too.
Yeah, Bobby does have still, and that's valid. All right, so there are a lot of bells and whistles at these new radios. Like, for instance, the Anytone. It's got APRS on it. All right, what for?
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
So APRS is very cool. And if you have a specific use for it,
right,
it's a very cool thing to do. So we've used APRS for things like weather balloons. You launch a weather balloon.
Right.
You want to be able to find it when it comes back down. APRS. It's a great tool for tracking something like that. It'll take you right to where that balloon has landed in the back property of someone that may or may not want you trespassing. And
anyway.
Yeah.
Side story.
So anyway,
yeah, I was going to say in the farmer's head.
That's right. So APRS is a very cool thing, but do I want my radio reporting to everyone in the world where I am at any given moment? Not really. I don't want to broadcast my position. I don't want, how hard would it be for somebody to lay in wait?
All right.
If they have a reason to find you.
Right.
If they can figure it out on my iPhone, maybe they can do that anyway. I don't know, but it's just it's a complicated world that we live in, and I just don't feel the need to set tracking on my phone or on my radio. It's not turned on any of our mobiles, although they're capable of it, and they have the APRS, the GPS antenna for locating. They're capable of it, and they're configured for it. It's just not turned on. So if I needed to be able to track a vehicle, we could do it.
Right.
But we don't, and we don't because that's public. I mean, that's in two-way radio. There is no privacy.
No.
Regardless of what your expectation is, if you're transmitting your position, it's going to be available on the APRS.fi webpage. And anybody can track that vehicle at that point. So I just don't think that's something we need to be doing. So lots of bells and whistles, lots of features and functions. A lot of them we're just not going to use, which
Right.
brings me back to the old Part 90 radios. The Kenwood TK880 can't do APRS. It can't do it can do a lot of things like trunking and it can do, it can do remote activate. You can set it so that if somebody transmits that radio on a particular set of DTMF tones, it'll honk the horn on your car.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It can be. It's not appropriate for GMRS,
right?
And in particular on our network, we don't want those tones being used. But there are some functions and features even in these older radios that we're not going to ever use. But let's break. But one of the features of these older Part 90 radios, sometimes these radios are 30 years old, and, and they still work.
Right.
They still work really, really well. Some of these radios are very old, and they still hold frequency very, very accurately.
And you might want that nice Kenwood as a base at home,
mm-hmm.
and then maybe you also have a handheld that you take with you when you go mobile or something.
And
you know,
yeah, and I'll tell you, it's nice to have, even if you've got a mobile radio in the vehicle, it's nice to have a handheld that's charged, that's there with you, so that let's say that somebody has to get out of the vehicle and you have to separate.
Right.
You can remain in contact. If you're out in the wilderness, you can remain in contact that way. If you're at the shopping center, you can remain in contact by staying in a parking lot while someone goes inside the store. And if, like for instance, the last time I sent Julian to O'Reilly for blinker fluid.
Oh, no wonder she quit doing tips.
I don't know if that's the reason why or not, but
anyway,
yeah.
Send her an email.
Send her an email. That's right. All right, good stuff, Bobby. And with that, let's continue on. Who's next on our list?
Well, I think it's Marcus.
Looks like Marcus with no TAC number yet. Guest check in from
He's probably long gone by now.
MG511. Probably tired. We do tend to lose him after 9 o'clock. Marcus, are you still with us, or have you bailed?
This is WSMG511, Marcus. Yeah, definitely still in here.
Right.
Listening to you guys, the wealth of knowledge that you guys are sharing. Thank you for that. I'm partly new to the game, to both AM and GMRS. I got my tickets about 2 months ago. So I've been playing around with programming and putting everything on my radios and all that. One thing, and I don't think anybody mentioned this, it could be a silly thing to know, to comment, but there is a way, if you use Chirp or the CPS software that lets you program a description of the channel. You put the name of it or what is it that you're putting on what channel. It's helped me a lot because trying to hit repeaters around here on my house. I know I'm hitting a repeater, but I don't know which one is it. So because my radio has dual monitor, and I can, okay, so I'm hitting this frequency, let me move.
I think we got timeout timer there, Marcus. Your radio cut out, but come on back and tell us more.
All right, sorry, I don't know where I caught up, but basically what I was saying is just make sure that when you're programming your radio, you put in the comment the name of the radio. For me, it's helped me a lot, kind of identify what repeaters I'm hearing through my home, because I just see the frequency, and then I change to the same channel on the other dual monitoring, and then I go ahead and know what I'm hitting. Again, that's something kind of silly, but it helps me keep track of what I'm hitting. When I'm trying to reach out repeaters around my house.
That's something that when you're programming a radio using a computer, the CPS or Chirp or what have you, you can give a custom name to your channels. Whereas if you're programming a radio from the front panel, oftentimes you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, or it's more difficult.
It's more difficult, exactly. And I think that's for some of us that we program a lot, and we forget about the little things. We forgot about the first time we set up 4 or 5 different repeaters, and we all gave them different names and this and that and the other, put them in different zones and stuff like that. So I appreciate the comment there, Marcus, because we do kind of forget about all the new guys out there and all that, and how to sometimes call them what they are: flagship, buckhead, whatever, whatever. Yeah. I don't have any frequencies listed in my repeater list at all, so I couldn't tell you what the frequency is. Tell you what I have it as the name of it.
Right, and that's a GMRS thing, right? Is
yeah.
knowing what the name of the repeater is. We identify by either channel number or by repeater name. In North Georgia GMRS, it's mostly by repeater name. But in other parts of the country, GMRS is identified by channel number.
Right.
And depending on what brand of radio you have, that channel number may or may not match up. But in ham, we identify frequencies, and so in my mind, I'm always thinking of the GMRS frequency, and it's hard for me to pair the frequency with the name. So I often lose track of. I mean, flagship I know is 675.
Right.
Once we get past flagship, I know frequencies, but I don't necessarily know locations. So it's just a challenge that I guess that I have. But we get into the amateur side of things. More often we refer to repeaters by their frequency than by their name.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead and bring that up, Rogers. There is the list of the North Georgia GMRS repeaters and their tones. So
and I think one question I hear a lot, and sometimes people say linked repeaters and all that. We still have 2 unlinked. So Monument has never been linked or never will be linked unless it's some kind of an emergency situation.
Yeah, we're capable of linking it, but it
is a standalone.
We installed that specifically to be a standalone repeater, and Ball Ground was linked in the past, but we have chosen not to link that because there again that repeater gets a lot of activity as a standalone machine.
Right.
There's a lot of conversations that happen on those repeaters that could happen on the linked repeater network, but it gives the opportunity to free up the network and move those conversations off of the network. Let's break.
Little rag chewing on those standalone repeaters
or big rag chews, or just long rag chews, or things that we ordinarily wouldn't necessarily want to have on the linked repeater network. So that's why those are there. That's why they exist. And somebody had made mention too about asking for frequencies and tones for a new repeater that went up in Chatsworth or in that area. A great place to go to find stuff like that. There's one really good source.
Really good place, isn't it?
And that's Repeater Book. If you go to repeaterbook.com and just plug in your zip code, you can find all the repeaters in your area.
I think they have a GMRS tab now on the front, on the very first page on the right-hand side. I think there's
so you can filter by GMRS.
Yes,
that's nice to be able to filter by GMRS. And then the right thing to do if you found a new repeater in your area and you want to use it is to reach out to whoever operates that repeater and ask for permission.
Yeah, because usually on their site, on the Repeater Book site, it will give you an email address of the owner.
And then when you ask for that permission, hopefully the owner will respond with, yeah, sure, and these are the tones, and this is its frequency, and this is what its range is, and et cetera, and we'll give you the information that you need to access that repeater. So that's the best way. Repeaterbook.com, and you can open an account with them, I guess, so to speak.
Correct.
For free. You plug in your call sign and some basic information, and that gives you access to a lot of really good information.
Yeah. Plus, you can have exports. If you create a login, you can export certain repeaters.
Oh, as a CSV file.
As a CSV file, and then put it on what Dana always talks about on Simplex Night is in the Google Maps. And you can save that so you physically know where all the repeaters, ham or GMRS, you want. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool. That's nice to have a map reference for stuff like that. So especially if we get into a grid down situation, if you've printed off some paper that has things like the frequency list that Rogers had up just a minute ago.
Right.
If you've got that printed out someplace, then we get into a grid down situation and you have to program radios in the field.
Right.
You've got that data available. If you get into a grid down situation, you've got a map that shows you where repeaters are. That can be really important in terms of being able to navigate and negotiate over the air. So I think these are all very good points.
And speaking of maps, I just put up the map of our repeaters as well. If you're on YouTube, you can see that. The general location all the way down in Columbus and on up to Tennessee.
Yeah.
All right.
So very good stuff. All right, thanks, Marcus. Great comments. Glad to have you in here. Hope to hear from you again.
Hope to hear it on the radio side.
Yeah, and I think you made mention about being a new ham as well.
Okay.
If that's the case, Marcus, next week we're going to be on the amateur radio side. Let's break. Next week's North Georgia Net will be North Georgia Amateur Radio Association on the amateur side of things. So do a little bit of search and see if you can find those repeaters, and be sure and tune in. If you can find the tones, I'm not allowed to say them, but if you can find them, they're out there. Just a little bit of searching, and you'll be able to find them. If you can find those tones, you can join the net. Otherwise, just tune into YouTube or monitor on the air, and we'd love to see you there. Next week, we're talking about gardening,
what,
homesteading,
and
backyard chickens.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's what the thing says that we have to talk about next
Is
week.
Gary going to be here next week?
I don't know.
Because he didn't come up with that list, did he?
No.
I thought Gary came up with that list.
No, we're back to Gary came up with everything in the first quarter.
Oh.
We're past that now.
Are we?
Yeah, we can't blame him for these anymore.
Dang it.
But good stuff. Let's move on to Gainesville 420. Nick in Oakwood. Nick, do you have any comments for tonight's net?
Nick has moved on.
He's usually in and out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but our in and out broke.
WSFH 294, Gainesville 420. Nick.
There he is.
Negative. Enjoying the net. Appreciate it. WSFH 294, Gainesville 420. Clear.
All right, Nick, we were just talking in here about the fact that you're usually in and out, but we didn't know if you were still listening or not. That was a good test.
It was a spot
good
check.
test.
Yeah,
Spot
yeah,
check.
we got you,
Testing,
in there. So you passed.
1, 2.
And congratulations for that. You get extra points for that.
And you know what? Maybe when maybe not a tradition, but sometimes we may just call on people.
Right.
You know, if they said they're in and out, maybe just call on them to see if you're still monitoring.
Oh yeah, that's valid.
Keep your ears on.
David and Lisa used to do that on a rabbit hole net. They would call out randomly to, maybe it's not even in a log. They just call out randomly to somebody just to see if they were out there.
Are you listening?
Yeah.
And if you're listening, you needed to log in.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue on. We've got Atlanta 849, Pamela in Duluth. Pamela, I think there's an opportunity in the air.
Uh-oh.
I think that the cancellation of the May 9th event might be an opportunity for someone to redirect that date to a location suitable for a large gathering, and maybe there's an opportunity here. So put that
doesn't sound creepy at all down there, does he?
Put that in your head and see if you can come up with a location that might work.
Yeah, we're gonna dub Pam our cruise director.
Yes, I think that would be right. So something to think about. The cancellation of the Smith family pickup. Picnic, we're going to do it. We're just going to have to move it into a different part of the year because the weather being what it is this time of the year, I think that we're just asking for trouble up there. So with that in mind, let's go to Pamela and see if she has any comments about programming radios or May 9th.
I think she has a guy.
I hear Bricks playing with Laser. I think Julie's back. Atlanta 849, Pamela, are you there?
Is there a Braves game on right now?
Yeah, that could very well be.
Might be the case.
I'm sure there is. Wow, Pamela not on the net. This would be a first.
All right. Well, I've got a feeling Pamela will come back when we have an open floor and comments here in a little bit. So,
I hope so,
we're getting close
it won't
to
be
that.
a net
so
without Pamela.
That's right. That's right. So we'll move on from here. Now we do have a handful of YouTube check-ins that have come through. Let me go ahead and acknowledge those. We have WSLI 600. Jake in Marietta is a guest check-in on YouTube. We have Gainesville 23 Gary in Cleveland checking in on YouTube. Atlanta 128 it's also Gary in Woodstock checking in from his flight. So I think I saw that comment earlier.
Did you see that? I put a nickname in there. Did you see that? That's his call sign. He just got it last week too.
Oh, is that right? So
Yeah.
so Kilo Romeo 4 LUL.
LUL.
Okay.
It's not quite as good as LOL. What, Dana?
I said that's weird.
Yeah, no, that's good though. I'm not sure what to do with that, but I know there's something in there. Guest check in from WRXD 340 David in Wichita, Kansas. We have a check in from WRNT 466 Eddie. He's a former member, but he didn't renew.
Because he's got a little mic fright, which I think we all have had.
Well, how many of us?
Except maybe Dana.
Okay, so you take a look at the actual membership roster.
Mhm.
Was it 600 and some change?
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly where we're at, but ultimately, out of 600 people that are members of North Georgia GMRS, and we have 30-ish on-air check-ins tonight.
Right.
So the people that are actually engaged on the air is actually a very small, and always has been.
Right.
Always has been a very small number versus what the actual membership numbers are. There's a huge number of people that support North Georgia GMRS, but never talk on the air, or very, very rarely talk on the air. They support the network because they want it to be here when they need it.
Yes.
So it's not about the fact that they talk on the air regularly or
Right.
that they don't talk in the air with any regularity. It's that they just want to ensure that we're here
Help and
for the long
support.
haul. So that's what a lot of people are members of the network for.
Right.
Is to maintain what we have and help us grow. Maintenance is an issue. So we've got this issue going on right now with one of our repeaters where the equipment has been vandalized, and we're negotiating with the property owner to determine what our next steps are, whether or not we can go back there, or what's our relationship going to be going forward.
Does a lot of people know which one that one is? I think I've heard a couple on the radio just wondering why it's out.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's out. It was vandalized, and so let's break. And we're just in the process right now trying to figure out whether we can go back there and expect to be expect our equipment to be safe.
Right.
So those talks are ongoing, and negotiating how we're going to address the relationship with the property owner is really what it boils down to. And that's what GMRS radio is all about, is relationships in one fashion or another. That's how we're on a repeater on the tower sites that we're on, is because of relationships. And
Right.
so this is a relationship that needs some attention and maybe some repair, and we'll have to see how this all shakes out as to whether we remain on that site or if we leave that site altogether. I don't know right now. Just don't know what we're going to do. I'm hoping that we are able to remain, and that we can fix things and move forward from this. But we'll just have to see how that all plays out. All right. Let's see. We've got. We're in the middle of acknowledging. We're talking about Eddie and why he didn't renew, and that's also okay.
Well, no, he had mic right.
If you
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you choose not to be a member of North Georgia GMRS for whatever reason, there's lots of reasons why you might not want to be a member.
Right.
Some people have some concerns over the current political environment with regard to whether or not we're allowed to link.
Right.
There's a lot of false information out there about us. I saw a video this week where there were a lot of almost truths being conveyed in the video.
Some
things that
half facts.
Half facts, right. So one of the comments was the fact that North Georgia ARA owns North Georgia GMRS. Well, there is a relationship there. But if you're going to talk about one owning the other, it's really more the other way around.
Right.
North Georgia GMRS has been around a lot longer than North Georgia ARA has.
Right.
We're looking at 6-7 months with the Amateur Radio Association.
And how many members does that have?
122.
122 on that.
Nearly $1.25. And
the Amateur Radio Club.
And I will say, after a survey done, already third largest in the state.
Okay.
Wow.
So, we've got good numbers there. And a lot of them, there's not necessarily a whole lot of traffic. There's a good amount.
Not yet, and it's growing. And I think the more nets that we have in the more regularity, there's a we're not at that critical mass yet where we have those regulars that are coming on and chatting.
But still have more numbers than a lot of clubs. And that same thing is a lot of people just want to make sure it's there to help support us and go forward with it.
More so than to have it to talk on is to know that it's there if they need to talk on it. So that's a big part of it. And the support is what makes those things happen. Let's break.
We're going to do a lot of explaining for it.
Well, not really. There's not much to explain. North Georgia ARA is just an amateur radio club, and we've just stood up 5 repeaters. We're going to stand up 5 more. So there's nothing really to explain. And as far as our net tonight, we still have a couple more check-ins to log. We've got Scott from Rossville, WSHN839 is a guest check-in on YouTube. We've got Atlanta 35, Michael in Marietta checking in on YouTube. And we've got Marcos. He's in here again. WSMG511. We just talked with Marcos on the air. We've got you in YouTube as well. So I want to say thanks.
No, that Marcos, the YouTube one is the gentleman from New York, I think.
Same call sign, WSMG511.
Yeah. Okay, maybe so.
Yeah. Was I holding the repeater?
That was Tacoa. Yeah.
I've got it now, right?
No.
All right, let me try this again. Do I have it now?
You got it now.
Okay, there we go. Apparently, I couldn't get the repeater
Ronnie
back.
says we've hurt his feelings.
Poor Ronnie. Velvet Elvis, what? We didn't lock him in? Oh, he's in there.
He says we didn't update his ham log or ham call sign in the log.
Well, that's because he didn't log in last week. When we had the amateur side, he didn't call in and give his ham sign there on the RF.
What is his ham sign? It's not something cool like LOL, is it?
No.
What is it?
That would be appropriate, though, wouldn't it?
DOR?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, Ronnie, I don't know what it is. You want to type in, since you're on YouTube and not RF, what it is, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, do that. And let me go ahead back and step back a little bit. I want to acknowledge these last YouTube check-ins because I don't think we went out over the air. We've got WSHN839 Scott in Rossville. We have Atlanta 35 Michael in Marietta and WSMG511 Marcos checking in both on YouTube and over the air. We talked with Marcos just a little bit ago. And, so that's, I think, the end of the roster.
Well, there's Ronnie's. Sorry. KR4.
LDR.
The lone doctor, I guess, maybe, or something.
Lone doctor.
But he says that you've totally hurt his feelings. So
did he have feelings though? Did he?
But I have to know: is it LONE doctor or LOAN doctor? Which loan are we talking about? Is he like a loan shark on the
last
side?
Doctor.
Last doctor.
We got to come up with something.
Oh my!
The last doctor.
Last doctor. I like loan doctor. That's
loan doctor.
That has a Las Vegas ring to it,
doesn't it?
It sure does. Yeah. All right, Ronnie.
And we wonder why this goes so long.
Well, yeah, it's because that one guy just won't shut up. But, all right. Okay, so that is the end of the roster at this point in time. So what that typically means, if you can ever get the host to be quiet, That typically means at this point we're going to go ahead and take one last round
Or comments.
of check-ins, and any questions or comments. This would be your opportunity. If you have a comment, just come on the air and say comment and give us the last three of your call sign or your TAC number, and we'll log you for your comment. And if you'd like to check in, of course, check in using your call sign and or TAC number, and we'll get you logged in that way. This will be the last round of check-ins, and of course, a final call for questions or comments. Net Control, standing by.
This is WQIV 982, Noonan 119, Jim in Noonan, Georgia, checking in and out.
This is WSID 69. Yes, checking. Kevin from Lithia Springs.
Or WSID 69.
This is WRCX 621. That's Jet 007. Checking in and out.
We got to get better about call signs.
This is Atlanta 35, WSIZ 923, Michael in Marietta.
We got Atlanta 35.
Just wanted to also add in, I got my new technician license just a couple weeks ago. K4WRA, so I'll have to start joining in on the North Georgia amateur night.
I want to say WFA, did he say?
Did you get Chat 007?
No.
He was the one before that.
Then I'll put Chat in.
All right. I swear, Dana, I swear, you either got a little kid in the room or a cat. Every now and then.
It's my office chair.
Oh.
Gotta send him some WD-40 or something.
Sounds like he's talking.
I could hear it.
So those on YouTube that wondering, that's not a cat or a little kid. That's Dana's chair.
I thought for sure it was a cat.
I thought it was a little kid outside while.
Yeah, I kept looking back like, what?
No, well, I heard you say it a little bit ago, and I'm like, what is he talking about, a cat?
No, we kept hearing this noise, looking around and trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Was that Chat 7 or Chat 77?
007. So, all right. So we've got Noonan 119. Jim in Noonan says he's in and out. We heard a guest check in. We only heard part of the call sign, but we did hear WSID 69. So there seems like there's a number missing there, but we've got that much of it in here. We'll get that corrected here in just a moment.
I think in our announcements we need to call if you're giving a call sign only as a guest check in.
Do it
Please
twice.
repeat it 5 times.
5 times. Or 6. Also, we've got Atlanta 35, Michael, also known as Kilo 4 Whiskey Romeo Alpha.
Congrats.
And that's kind of a cool vanity because it's almost, I mean, if there was a Yankee at the end of it, it would be his last name.
There you go.
So nice job on the vanity. I like that. And we heard Chattanooga 007. That's a secret agent check-in because when we punch that in,
it doesn't.
Nothing populates. So either I got it wrong,
which has happened once,
or Rogers has got the answer over there, but he's not talking.
It's Edward. Well, I don't know if it was really secret or not, but yeah, Edward.
Edward. Okay.
Edward.
So it didn't populate for some other reason.
It should be 7, but yeah.
007 is valid.
It has 007 in parentheses.
Yeah. You know, back in my truck driving days, there was a trailer that I would get from time to time, and its unit number was 211007, and I called that the secret agent van.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So,
well, I mean,
that was my favorite.
007 is a lifetime member. We talked about support. You know, if you don't use the network that much, and this and that and the other, he is a lifetime member. So
fantastic. Well, thank you for that support. And Ed, we've got you in the log. We'll have to do some research. It probably just broke the lookup. Is why that's not working. We didn't hear anybody with any comments, not even Pamela. So we'll.
She sent me a text though.
Okay.
She said she's back.
Ah, all right.
8 works.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to put her in as a comment because if she's back, I know she's got something to say. And we'll give Pamela the last word again. WSID69, can you come back and help us correct your call sign, please?
This is WSID 629. That is 629.
I copied WSID 629. Perfect.
Appreciate it.
We've got you
Glad to have you.
in the log. Did you have any comments for tonight's net?
No, thank you. I just wanted to go ahead and check in and check out and let you know I was listening to the whole net.
Fantastic. Love to have you along with us tonight, and
Appreciate it.
appreciate your check-in. So we've got you in the log, and marked you as in and out. And we should throw that log up and maybe scroll from top to bottom here before we close, so that folks can see that they are checked in. That brings us last to Chattanooga 007. Why does that say 8 now?
8 pulls up. He's got several different license or
Oh,
lifetime
okay.
members. So 8 pulls up, and that's who it is.
Okay.
But I put a 7 over there by the side.
I see. All right. So Ed, if
Wait a minute, let me take. If you take the nickname off, let's see.
Yeah, if you take the nickname, put him in right here. Yeah, put him in this row, and let's see if we get him here. Where's Chattanooga? It's CHAT tab. There's Chattanooga, and I'm going to put an 8 in here, and then it just says Chattanooga.
Looked it up a minute ago. Anyway,
all right. It'll be all right.
Sorry, Ed.
Ed, do you have any comments or any questions for tonight's net?
Negative, fellas. I was in and out.
All right, we've got you in log twice, so we're going to mark you in and out twice.
There you go.
That'll work. So.
Appreciate the support.
And we don't have to worry about the auditors.
No.
So we're going to leave them in there twice, and I think
they won't catch it.
No. We've got more than one in here more
you
than one.
didn't have to tell everybody.
No. It's okay because the auditors, they quit.
Okay.
So this is going to conclude.
Uh-oh. Do I have a part in this?
The North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of
63
unaudited check-ins, including net control. So are you scrolling through that now? That's perfect. If this is your chance to see your name in the TV screen. Net control will now be returning and repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget, like and subscribe and give us a share so others will see the YouTube live stream. Remember, comments on YouTube video shows engagement with the video and helps the channel to grow. Tune in. Excuse me. Here it goes again. Tune in next week on any North Georgia Amateur Radio Association linked repeater or on a YouTube live stream when we talk about homesteading, gardening, and backyard chickens.
Chickens is the same as chickens?
No, not check-ins. Chickens.
Oh, we're not going to talk about getting the chickens wrong?
We might get the chickens wrong.
Okay.
The first time we had...
I have a neighbor who has some chickens.
The first time we had chickens, we bought them at TSC.
Yeah.
And they were Rhode Island Reds. Do you know how to tell a male Rhode Island Red from a female Rhode Island Red?
I don't know if I want to know. Do you want to know, Rogers? Are you ready for this?
I'm all for it.
Well, you just buy the chicks and you bring them home.
Okay.
And you wait for them to start laying eggs. And when they start doing cock-a-doodle-doo instead of laying eggs, you've made a bad purchase. So all 6 of them.
Yes,
all six of them ended up being given away to a farm up in Blue Ridge that promised not to eat them. I don't know why that was important. But
it sounded like the opposite right there. If somebody tells you, "Hey, I'm not going to eat these,"
definitely not going to eat these.
This has not crossed my mind to eat this. Anyway,
be sure and participate in the Friday Night Simplex Challenge on the Monument Repeater. And if you have an amateur license, you can join the Simplex Challenge on the N4 KHQ repeater. Except this Friday night, we don't have a host again.
I thought he said you could remote. Dana, is Jim not remote?
Jim's not available, and I don't know that his remote operation is operational yet.
Okay.
We're gonna pause on that for the time being, and we're gonna see if we can get a regular host in place for the 2-meter simplex challenge. So I mean, if you want to get on and talk simplex without a net controller, there's no reason not to do that.
Mr. Pete's got a great repeater.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason to not do that. Let's break. But we won't have a net control host for that tomorrow night. So, but feel free to gather and join and exercise your simplex challenge on the 2-meter frequencies and just do it and make it happen. You all know what to do. Thanks for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946 WQIR 514. You know what I forgot to do?
You forgot to do what?
Oh man,
What'd you
is it
forget?
too late?
Go ahead. No,
we haven't closed. Ed, let me throw it back to you and see if you have anything from the chat that I need to address. You threw me a couple of texts, but I want to just give you a chance to come on the air and see if you have anything you think we should address or anything that I've missed in the
appreciate
live
the help
stream
too,
chat.
Ed.
Well, no, we did address. So we did a good job with that. I do want to publicly apologize to Mr. Ronnie.
Uh-oh.
Should be.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on there, Ed. We had good carrier on you through all of that, but your audio was coming and going. The last we heard was a public apology to Mr. Ronnie, and then I think
We didn't hear it. We
I
didn't
think
hear
there was
anything
an
after
additional statement, but we didn't. We just heard a carrier.
Or maybe
So-
that's what he went to do, just silence.
and well, maybe a moment of silence. I'm not sure how that works, but
Oh, and Pamela said she thought
She thought it was over by
we
now.
were coming back to her.
oh, we better do that. All right, so we're going to do that too. We're going
This
to do
is
that
the longest
too.
conclusion
I'm gonna-
ever.
That's right. That's how we roll. Let me finish up with Ed and see if he can come back.
Try it
with
again,
that,
Ed.
with that comment for Ronnie.
Okay, hopefully you can hear me. I switched mics.
We got
It's
you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we got you this time.
Yeah, no, I was apologizing to Ronnie. It was my fault for not putting in that call sign. I was focused on the GMRS TAC number instead. So hopefully he'll forgive me. I think he said he did on the comment, and will still talk to me on the air. Take care, Ronnie. Sorry about that. It won't happen again. 73.
Well, I don't know if it won't happen again. It won't happen on your watch, probably.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna do it.
I'd say there's a pretty good chance.
We will make sure it happens again.
It will happen every week from now on.
There's a pretty high probability of that. All right, so I also forgot Pamela.
Especially
so,
when he's only on the YouTube side. He didn't even get on the RF side.
yeah, well, I mean, we could maybe bring him in alongside of Dana.
There you go.
And
does he know how to work a computer?
Better than I do.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
I think that we could
Careful,
maybe,
Ronnie.
We could maybe do
keep
that.
complaining.
We can bring Ronnie in. We could bring Ed in. We could bring in all kinds of people in. In fact,
Speaking
one of the people that we might be able to bring.
The Brady Bunch.
Pretty much. All right, Pamela. Let's come back to you and see if you have any comments for tonight's net just before we close. You better send her a text.
Do you know who Ray Jr. is? On the comment? I'm just curious.
No, I don't. Atlanta 849. Pamela, are you there?
Does she need to program the radio? Pamela.
All right, not hearing Pamela at this point. We're going to go ahead and close things up. Before we do, I want to make one quick comment. If you have questions about North Georgia GMRS, who we are, how we operate, how to become a member, things of that nature, the best place to go for additional information would be to the North Georgia GMRS Facebook page. Request to become a member. Be sure and answer the questions, the membership questions. We do not approve folks that don't answer the questions. Right. So do that. The second best place to go would be to the NGGMRS.org webpage. And on the webpage, there is a place to apply for membership. There's all kinds of information about the repeaters, how to find them. There's a map that shows you where they are. There's a chart that shows you how to program your radio. There are instructions on how to operate on North Georgia GMRS on the radio etiquette. There's all kinds of stuff in there, including information that'll lead you to membership applications. So be sure and check out the North Georgia NGGMRS.org webpage. Also, the NGARA webpage. There's a link to that from the NGGMRS webpage, so you can bounce back and forth between ARA and GMRS. Membership is really the same link for both. So if you're interested in an ARA membership, that would be the same avenue for that. So check those things out. And with that, I'm going to...
we could try the conclusion again.
How did that become full page?
I don't know. What do you have?
Let's see. There we go. So let's go ahead and close this thing up. Thanks for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is Atlanta 1150, WRZV 748. Tony.
And this is WSAL 368, Atlanta 263, Rogers.
And WRWK 619, Atlanta 250, and I am Dana.
We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And I think we're done now, right? Last time? Just checking.
We are clear.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.